what we are doing in all these organization, we are focusing on process and tools because we are busy to deliver. But then people get burned out or stressed or, frustrated because they don't have any direction where to go and so on. So for me, people first, always. My kind of little concern is that we will, over complicate things and believe that AI will, replace everything. Again, recently I read one from MIT research, and only 35% get some small benefits from AI. Rest, it was just waste of money because they put it some, chat robots or what was the name of these things, and they expect that miracle will happen.
Welcome back to Bits and Bolts with Paulina, where we get practical about tech, AI, leadership, and messy realities between tech and humans. And today we have Allen with me, who we know each other a bit also on personal note. We used to work together a few years back. He used to be coach of Agile for me. And we're gonna focus on exploring feedback and what are we missing when giving and receiving feedback today. So welcome. And yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Paulina. I'm so happy that you invite me because I'm following you on LinkedIn and see all this great stuff you are doing. So appreciate it.
Great to have you here. Always learn a lot from you, but from people who don't know you shortly, I have some info about you. I think I can go through it, that you have over 20 years of experience in transforming teams across a lot of different global enterprises, guiding leaders from Maersk, where we used to work together, in Novo Nordisk, Schneider Electric, Switzer, from massive culture change. You coached over 1,000 people. That's a very impressive scaled agile transformation across entire organizations. Yeah, reduced cycle of majority of 30 or 70%, boosted collaboration and productivity by 40%, led agile communities for up to 150 members. And yeah, focus on people always first. I joined your trainings many years ago myself. It was always impressive and learned a lot. Let me know what I miss here, because that's different stuff you managed to achieve. I know you're also active speaker in the conferences and teaching for many years.
Yeah, you've summarized pretty well. Thank you so much. I've been around, and as you just mentioned, people first, and that's what I prefer to work. All other, buzzwords or some fancy words. It's good to know, but if we forget the people on our journey, nothing will work.
Yeah, I think it's very often a bit we oversee it in tech very often. I think, there's focus on, we need, new fancy tech, we need AI, but we forget that, next to processes and hard tech, there's also actually people who write it, who drive it, who creates it.
Yeah, exactly. And I always, when people start talking about this agile stuff, which was popular, now it's kind of a little bit going down, but again, it will come, I believe. And then I always ask people, when they're focusing on all these frameworks and say, okay, so you're actually evaluating the first value of Agile Manifesto, individuals' interaction over process and tools. And what we are doing in all these organization, we are focusing on process and tools because we are busy to deliver. But then people get burned out or stressed or, frustrated because they don't have any direction where to go and so on. So for me, people first, always.
Exactly. So you always focus on humans and people, and you remind us, people who are more heavy into delivery itself, and that okay, we are people to start with. But you run a lot of different transformation in the big organizations, from Maersk, Schneider Electric. When you walk into new team, what's usually the first thing that tells you about feedback? What works, what doesn't? What can you notice there when you to the team?
Yeah, first thing what I'm asking people when I join a new team or new organization, it's what is already working for you. In that way, I yeah encourage people, invite people to share because it's not that nothing is working. Otherwise, the company will not exist for so many years. Some of these bigger companies, and every time when I ask that questions, I could just see how people start opening more. And if you are using whiteboard, posting things on the whiteboard, okay. Then sometimes as a joke, I say, "Look, why do you need me?" you know, uh, and when we talk about feedback, that's also what people are actually forgetting. It is not a one-way street because we are used to that, always manager giving us feedback, but we should also think about feedback as a two-way street because based on the feedback, actually, we inspect and adapt ourselves, our team, our code when we are doing coding or testing. So, oh, thank you very much for sharing that, your view. And then we work together to move on and, finish things what we are planning.
Yeah, I think that's the way of communication. We learn about each other and we learn how we can be better with working together and with communication with each other. And we are we don't know people personally in the majority of the cases we work with. We might get to know them on the way, but we need to, adjust if as it's in any relation, in my opinion, if it's private, if it's work-wise, you still put a human aspect into it and you work better if you know what works in your relation with another person.
Absolutely. And when I joined, for example, new team and it's kind of existing team, then I asked them, how much do you know about each other? Oh, we have been working for 2 years or 5 years. And then I just asked, okay, but do you know when it's her or his birthday? And then it's just silent. It's good that we are, focusing on our work, delivering, great functionality and stuff. But again, uh, if we, as you said, if we don't know, other person's personality or something about their personal life, then it's just becoming mechanic. Say, yeah, okay, good morning, goodbye, see you. But sometimes, as we used to do it, for example, in Maersk, and we had this Friday bar or something, we don't needed to go to get a drunk, but it's mainly, let's meet outside the office. And then people also open much more and talk about personal life.
Yeah, that helps to, get to know each other on the, not only within frame, like, okay, what works for you in the code, what code you like, or, how do you work with code, but also a bit more like on the human, okay, what's your hobby? Do you have family? Where are you from? A few basics. You don't need to be best friends. But I think there was concept also of best friend in work at some point.
Oh yes, I remember that, and yeah, then people kind of again, when you get something from the top, find your best friend at work. Then people, what I experienced first, kind of start making jokes, but of course you have a friend, you are eating the lunch together, meeting outside of the work and so on. But then again, in my opinion, what leadership and maybe also HR are making mistakes pushing me to find the best friends, and then immediately, just like with feedback, we just go in this defense mode. So why are pushing me to do that? I already have a friends, both, in the office, but also outside the office. So, this, leadership approach, it's a little bit, old school, I will call it.
I think especially in Denmark or in some countries when you have usually very often friends from when from your childhood years, I think it's even harder. At least for me, when I'm coming from Poland, I can see people are a bit more open back in Poland than here on the on the more personal basis. But it's gonna vary from country to country, from culture to culture a bit, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I'm coming, from Croatia and former Yugoslavia, and it was pretty similar. And the funny thing, when I work it for Maersk, and before I joined your team, two of my best friends were also from Poland, you know. And this year I was in Krakow in one conference, and I met so many, great people, and we are still in contact. So. So yeah, and yeah, in Denmark, people can be a little bit more kind of close because before they figure out who are you, and as you said, maybe they have they already have a friend, So who are you?
Yeah, it takes time, but
Take
also like, even from Maersk, I'm still friends with many people I used to be with team with. But
yeah.
going back to core of today topic of the feedback, what's the biggest myth leaders usually have about giving feedback?
What is the biggest
Biggest myth, misconception, myth.
misconception? Yeah, in my experience, it's that they understand it's a one-way street. I'm the leaders. I have one-to-one with you, and I will tell you, yeah, everything, and I'm too busy to listen what you have to say. And what I experience many times, it's always focus on negative stuff in a feedback, and then when closing feedback, say, "Oh, by the way, you did a good job. Yeah, you ruined all my day, and now you are telling me that I did a good job." So, yeah, misconception. It's actually that they still believe that's one-way street.
Yeah, I think it's important that, even if we're on a different levels in the company, it both works. Yeah, as you mentioned, there is a human aspect that we need to learn both ways here. And that brings us also, what actually fails in the feedback. So we talk about safe spaces, retrospective, performance reviews, and yet people still avoid saying the truth or being, direct or avoiding the how do you call it when you say something directly to someone. I lost the word in English.
Oh, okay, okay. Candid feedback. Oh, the
Yeah.
candid feedback. Yeah.
Why do you think it is? Why people are avoiding saying the truth when giving the feedback?
Uh, I I believe it's because people are not prepared to give or receive feedback, and especially as employees, every time when we have a feedback with our leaders, we go in that meeting with a little bit kind of scare. Okay, what is going to happen? So therefore, yeah, I'm using a little bit another approach which can help both the giver but especially receiver to prepare and to prepare for feedback, but also to run feedback session in a more human way, I would say.
So, by going by this thought, do you think it can be learned, or it's something what we only, can learn by upbringing or by, how we already are? Can it be, something what can be trained, or we coming with it?
Uh, I I'm strong believer that it can be learned, and yeah, believe me, I learn by myself. And one of the last conference, I spoke actually about this topic, and I share my personal experience with my manager, how I reacted before I learned how to position myself when giving and receiving feedback. So definitely, and it's not really rocket science. It's simple steps, 5 simple steps where you can, get prepared, but also get prepared to receive feedback.
That was my next question, if it's hard. Because if stuff are getting overcomplicating, we don't wanna deal with it because it's the entry point is too high.
No, it is really really simple. If you want, I can share these simple 5 steps with you later on. If you want to post it on podcast or somewhere, so you are welcome to do that.
With giving feedback also comes, what kind of feedback we are giving, and
Mm.
what do you think is helpful feedback, and what is, personal feedback when it's ego-driven correction. So if it's, it's not actually constructive feedback or helpful feedback, which can actually be, beneficial for the collaboration or for getting to know each other or for having better relations with someone.
Yeah. And that's where, yeah, for example, these first steps. Yeah, I can now run through these 5 steps. But first step, when you are giving feedback, when you invite a person, to feedback session, it's to align objectives. Telling other person, because we should think about it's always other human beings on other side. Tell the person what is the purpose of this meeting, and align on objectives. Like today we will have this podcast, you and I, and we will talk about feedback. Then when we are align these objectives with each other, then actually we minimize these threats what receiver usually have. This is how our brain is wired. As soon as someone telling me, Ellen, we need to talk, I say, okay, then we go in this kind of freeze mode. Say, okay, what's happened now? And then when we align these objectives, then we ask other person to share his view or his or her perspective on the topics we are going to talk about, to hear their opinions about the topic. Third step is that actually someone call it active listening, although we are always listening active, but listening what other person said, and maybe if you can spot it, face expression or something like a body language, and try to mirror, not like parrots repeating what she or he said, but in a sense, okay, so you are telling from your point of view, you are telling about this. Did I understood you correctly? Taking some of these keywords from receiver and interpret and ask for confirmation. Then the fourth step, it's actually as a giver, when you understand the other perspective, actually to maybe share your experience or share your, insight about the topic. Like, when I was younger, I had a similar situation, and I did, in this way. And then inviting receiver, like, what do you think about this? Is it something you can use it? And then receiver will feel, okay, first that person, giver is listening to me. Actually, he can paraphrase what I said. And now he or she is sharing their experience with me. And then our brain starts kind of working. It's much more motivated. It can be, also some, negative feedback, but it will help us to process all this information. And then in the end, before closing, the feedback session, as a giver, you ask receiver, okay, now when we summarize all these things, we figure out what is going on. What will be your next steps from now? So you are giving a kind of autonomy to person to decide what will be the next steps for her or him, to do some of these actions or some improvement, or whatever we align on the first steps. And in that way we are minimizing threat actually, but indirectly increasing rewards in the receiver's brain. And after that, when session is closed, then we can, as a receiver, say, okay, that was not bad as such, instead of just criticizing. So that's these 5 simple steps which we can learn, but also which can help us, both as a giver to prepare, but also to receiver to process all this information.
Yeah, that sounds really simple and compact. So you don't have, 20 steps, but you have just a few steps to figure out, okay, why are we doing it? How do we want to do it? Acknowledge other side and actually give the feedback, and also, give them sum it up and give them independence to what they're gonna do with it, and to them for them to decide. If I missed something, correct me. I'm totally, I'm learning, soft skills over the last 10 years as much as I can. But as a tech person, it's not my strongest side, of course. But I know
Yes.
myself also from my own interactions how important this part is
Mm.
when you also start having people under you and also to people above you. So it's both directions.
Yeah, exactly.
Able to get feedback, especially in the work environment.
Yes, and that's absolutely true. And yeah, all of us we are learning. And interesting thing, every time when I work at with the teams, especially developers and the test team and product owners and so on, I use it another simple feedback technique. It's called the perfection game, and it's again 3 sentence which help receiver to say, okay, that was not bad. You start like on a scale from, let's say, 1 to 5. For this work I will give you 3. To make it 5, I will suggest that you do this and that. So pretty similar like previous one, but you are also acknowledging good work and actually suggesting something which person can make it even better. So that's also one thing which we can take with us.
Yeah, so that's also a technique to know, also not only look, because I think that's what I've seen for many years. Bad with the feedback, that people focus on the bad stuff and forgot about good stuff. And what I noticed after moving to Denmark, actually, that people, also say like, you've done good this, you've done good this. And so it's more focused actually on positive stuff versus on the negative stuff. What took me a few years to, to change my mind shift and how my brain works with it. But I noticed that I also respond to this feedback much better when, someone also acknowledge what I've done well, besides only what I'm doing wrong. And I think it's also another, not only how we work in the tech or somewhere on how we are people, but it's also, culture thing. What is the, attitude towards other people and how we look into it. Because in Poland, I
Yeah.
think, for example, by default, we notice more negative stuff in majority of the cases. And actually very positive feedback for me by moving here that, oh, you can do it differently. And that was really big
Yeah.
game changer for me.
Yeah, and pretty similar experience, for me. And I recently read, some research what they made, especially with the feedback and this minimizing threats. It's when we say one negative thing to person, then to make their brain kind of back to normal, we should say 7 positive thing, so
Exactly.
person feel appreciated.
So you need 7 positive interaction to be able to get rid of 1 negative interaction. And that
Negative,
big
exactly.
ratio, big ratio. But as we mentioned before, very often people are scared of giving feedback. How can we, how can people be more comfortable with giving feedback to, executives or people who are higher level professionally in the company with them? Because I also been,
Mm.
when I was starting as a consultant, I was also personally scared, like, oh, I work with C-level executive. Can I tell them? But actually, that's what they pay me. They pay me for my opinion about technical stuff. It doesn't mean that it's something wrong, but it's also how
Mm.
you communicate it. That's a big thing, how they're gonna receive it.
Yeah. For example, giving them feedback, I always start with just simple kind of sentence or statement. In the last 1 week or last 2 days, I observe it. This. For example, in your case, some technical stuff. I observe it. This, and then I always bring kind of half solution. So not like, so it's not feel like a criticism, you know. And then based on this observation, I would, suggest that you consider, this, because it will help us in the end to reach our goal.
So more by looking, hey, where we are, and then propose the solution at the same time already,
Yeah.
versus criticizing or only saying that that's fun.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes, we can treat feedback just like, simple thank you for your presentation today. I really like it. Or, maybe, sorry, maybe next time you could add something more. So, so that's also, then people feel appreciated. Simple thank you can really move us a long way.
Yeah, definitely. I think when, people feel also that we notice both sides of whatever they do. Have you have any situations that, or in the past when, giving feedback completely backfired? And what did you learn from it?
Mm. Yes. Once when I started practicing all these feedback technique, I had two teams, and I shared my observation. And one person from the team said, "What do you know? You are not a technical person. You cannot tell us what we should do." And I was okay, sorry for mentioning that. But then that was in the bigger forum, And then, after, first I was, uh, angry and frustrated, kind of, okay, I'm trying to help here. But then after maybe 2 or 3 days where I kind of reflect, then I invite that person and let's just grab a coffee, and I just openly asked him, did I offend you or the team, by providing some of these things? Say, no, we were busy and, all this standard stuff what all of us are experiencing. And then, sometimes, we don't have a time to listen these things. But first reaction was, frustration, angry, but then, let's sleep on it. And then it's opened, different perspective.
So sometimes we need to let emotions to calm down a bit before we revisit the situation and handle it one more time in more calm manner to justify where we are on both sides and explain where we're coming from.
Yes, absolutely. And if it's something, kind of during the interaction happening, and previously I was just kind of, start arguing, you are right, I'm wrong, and whatever it is. But then, again, simple techniques where I just start counting to 10, inside my body, just like, "Shh, take it easy, you are frustrated, but just, count to 10, step back. And then these, 10 seconds, first time for me felt like, ages, but it's just like, that's give my brain a little bit more air. Said, okay. And then sometimes, I said, okay, maybe now it's not good time to talk about it. Let's meet, later on or tomorrow or something. So again, simple exercise which can all of us help us.
This way, you just answer actually my next question: how to receive the feedback when actually it hits you in the soft spot, and how to deal with it. You just gave us technique. What can we do to calm down and not blow up in this case.
Hmm. Well,
Do
okay.
you
Well, happy to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Do you think there's anything else we should think about it when when we receive the feedback, or when we think the feedback it's not fair to us?
uh, when I feel it, in that situation, then I will do similar, like, when giver is try to understand other part. Then I'm using, kind of, curiosity. Say, okay, let me hear if I hear you correctly, and then I repeat some of, his or her words, uh, and and then I would also kind of, not directly push back, but kind of, push back in a sense, say, okay, uh, can we just explore a little bit more about this situation? So in that sense, as a receiver, we are kind of buying the time, so that other giver suddenly needs to think instead of just disagree with me. So,
Yes, you will throw the ball back to them and kind of push them in the manner that they need to explain more from where sorry, explain or dig a bit more where is it coming from.
Exactly.
Being able to elaborate on it. It's not only, hey, I don't like it and that's all, but actually, okay, why do you don't like it? What's the point? Are you sure that it's what you want to say, and so on? But one thing is receiving bad feedback, but very often I can see people don't like to receive positive feedback either, or compliments. People are getting very mixed.
And
They don't know how to react to it. They don't want to take it. And that's, I think, the same skill also as we receive the negative feedback, the same with positive one.
and I I believe it's because it's feels superficial in a sense. Just like people meet you, in next to the coffee machine and ask, "No, how is going?" And then you usually answer, "Yeah, it's going fine." And we can have so many problems, but then person who asks you, it's so busy to listen actually. How are you? And I think it's the same with this positive feedback. I can praise you for great work, but you don't feel it's kind of real. It's just like a great job, and say, yeah, yeah, I know that. So again, if we can yeah, allocate 1-2 minutes to say great job or great work, you finish this code and we deploy it actually on production. Let's see what will our customers tell us about it, and then we can share again. So if again from the beginning, people first, try to be human also when you are giving positive feedback, so other person can feel it's coming from the heart, if I can say it.
I think also what you mentioned, the importance of feedback in tech. So one thing is also, receiving feedback on personal level, but very often, in the more old school way, people didn't want to receive the feedback on their, product or on their building, on how they're building, on the technical level. And I think that's whole from where I'm coming from more, whole DevOps and having feedback and fail fast. So you want to have feedback as soon as possible, because then you can, redirect and improve much earlier and much faster with much lower cost and adapt much better versus if you drag it and get it too late, or you don't get it often enough. So there is importance of feedback, which we're not talking about also in the technical world and in the software delivery itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I learned and what I'm practicing now, and especially working with the technical people, is that, the feedback is essential. As you said, DevOps, we implement something, push it on, some environments or give it to customer, then we receive back and then we adapt again on that. And that's crucial. And if we can, work with people so they understand it's not a blame game. Paulina did it, great jobs. Ellen didn't test it. Again or some. So let's bring our kind of mind. Say we are doing this because of we will earn the money in the end, but also to help each other. And some part of code you are expecting, then I can just learn from you. We should start thinking, more like, that feedback is like a learning journey for us.
Exactly. It's something, valuable, what we can make better. We can learn and we can build something better, what's gonna bring more value. And I mean, that's in the end also like, okay, of course we're gonna get paid, but from the business perspective, we wanna put as much business value as possible. And for this, you need to talk to business, you need to talk to stakeholders, you need to talk to customers, and you need to do it often, even if you don't want it. But if you wanna build something good, the more often you do it, the better feedback. Of course, you don't want to also change priorities all the time, because that's...
Yeah, exactly. And I think one of these guru from Lean startup, he had a statement, what if you deliver the best feature ever and nobody use it?
Exactly. And also, if you build the best product ever, but no one's know about it, or no one is using it, or there is no need for it, you can put it back to the trash.
Right. Exactly.
But also we have, tech is impacting a lot of stuff, and we have whole AI boom right now. And, everyone is talking about AI. Every company and organization is trying to put AI everywhere. And I think it's also coming to the, leadership and the feedback and giving feedback. How do you think AI is changing good leadership and shifting from, because we were decision makers, but, also the AI is there and it can, analyze based on, information it's trained and based on knowledge, but it still is missing the human aspect which we have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm using myself, but I'm using as an inspirational source. Just like yeah, some years ago when we Google it everything and then read it. Now I can get just a faster answer. What I've seen, as you also said, now all organization AI, and the funny things when I'm looking, some reports or some job description or something, whatever it was before, they just add AI in front. It's okay. So I think that many leaders start understanding importance and benefits of AI, and which is good. All of us, we can benefit from it. My kind of little concern is that we will, yeah, over complicate things and believe that AI will, replace everything. Again, recently I read one from MIT research, and only 35% get some small benefits from AI. Rest, it was just waste of money because they put it some, chat robots or whatever was the name of these things, and they expect that miracle will happen. And again, just like with any other technologies, if we don't have a people behind, then nothing will work. Technology is great. I love it. I use it. But if we are forgetting, human on that journey, it will create, a lot of frustration, irritation. This is not working. ChatGPT is not working. Let's use another model, just like, I see it now. For me, it's kind of, if I can call it, like deja vu with Agile movement, with all these frameworks. Scrum is not working. Spotify is not working, but where is people? you know? So,
Exactly. No, and it's I see it a lot. Like, okay, this model is not good for this. Let's use another one. And sure, there is something in it as well. But as you say, I think we read similar research when when they were doing something, and only like 5% really got benefits from implementing AI. Another 15 get some benefits, and 80% or more it was trash pan. But that's it's the same as it was with DevOps 10 years ago. Everyone was, oh, can we get DevOps? Can we buy DevOps? It's only gonna solve all our issues. I'm like, not really. It can solve some of the issues if it's used correctly and if it's implemented also not only on the technology level, but it's culture foremost and people foremost also. And right now I see a lot of people from, who started DevOps going to AI bubble and so on. And I agree, sure, our role gonna change or how we work gonna change. But who needs to adapt it and who needs to tell it how it works? And we already have existing organizations with a lot of tech and processes and people. So if you put AI on top of it, it doesn't gonna fix something suddenly. You need to be able to get this AI and implement it in the correct way into people, processes, and the technology. So on all different layers. And you have more under it, compliance, security, product delivery, blah, blah. So there is a lot of different aspects which you need to tackle.
yeah, exactly. And then therefore recently, maybe months ago, I posted on LinkedIn, so-called, not guidance. I hate to use that word, but it's a kind of, to consider the whole picture. Yeah. Bring AI. Okay. Where is the impact? What's the impact of organization? What is the AI strategy for organization? What they wants to achieve? Do we have the right people? Does our current organizational structure support this AI initiative? What about processes? What about the tools, infrastructure? We want AI, but we are still using a Linux server somewhere, and DevOps, but so I got kind of not tired, but I said, okay, let me just create simple thing again. It's kind of, I call it nine grid canvas. We're taking the organizational kind of picture, process, culture, leadership, so on, and just simple questions to ask people. And if they cannot answer it, then probably they are not ready or missing, right skills in organization or right infrastructure and so on. Then it's something to work on before just jumping into something new. And it's available, you can download it, and your audience can also download it. It's for
We
free.
can link it to the podcast so people can get value from your work, which I'm sure it's very reliable. Because what you're mentioning, I face it a lot with my own customers. That they don't have ownership, they don't have infrastructure. People don't know how to use it. People use it insecurely, or they completely ban it. I mean, it's also not the solution to ban the technology which we're gonna live with and which can bring the value if it works correctly, but also using it, and with agents in some organizations, it comes for the new dynamics, and also what is the new requirements for the team and expectations for the between AI and team dynamics. How can AI influence it? So we have AI takes over some tasks, you can AI take over, for example, scripting or making minutes from the meeting and putting actions. Do you see any changes in the expectation which coming to the team with AI coming to the picture as a being part of the team workflow, or being a bit, sometimes some people also consider AI as a member of the team?
Yeah. From my point of view, I would say think about or use AI as a great inspirational partner, or partner who can make probably your code faster, but you will still need to check it and probably do some unit test or some test to verify. But it will, as a developer, it will help you to maybe quickly finish some task, but always check it. It's still not human who kind of provided that information. There is human maybe who made these models, but check it just in case.
Yeah, it's still based on the probability, on the of what compared to what you give it and what answers should look like.
Exactly.
And do you think AI makes it easier or harder, the collaboration in the organizations? Because
I will say it's an enabler, but if we only have one friend as we do, and that's AI, then collaboration will not improve. To enable collaboration, again, think about AI, like your toolbox, but still, let's talk. Especially when we are developing something, there is usually complexity and dependency, between different parts of the system. So let's take simple example. I want to deliver something, but I'm developing, I'm depending on your work. Then what to enable our collaboration? I would say, Paulina, this AI helped me to create this code. Do you think this is kind of useful for you, or does it going to impact any part of your code? And then say, maybe you should connect this API, or whatever it is from technical point. So in that way, it can kind of strengthen collaboration. But if we blindly just follow what AI provide us, then we will live in our bubbles, like during the COVID. me myself and my friend AI.
yeah, exactly. You still need the collaboration. But I found one very good use case for AI: documentation. All developers hate to put the documentation. And what we noticed, when you connect, especially in the organization, AI to your documentation, you don't need to send suddenly documentation to other people or other teams or other team members. If you keep documentation updated, then AI can actually, help you to find stuff and processes. So you can just send people to AI, and then they can, if it's trained on the internal documentation, it's updated, then you don't need to deal with people. And for developers, I could see that's a very big win.
Yeah, absolutely. And see that's the vid, you know what? Then developers can focus on real stuff, you know, producing, you know, beneficial code for the products and end customers, and that's a beauty.
Exactly, because here we are removing, for example, repetitive thing that you need to, hey, you need to send a link to something what already exists in Confluence or somewhere, or in your head if you forgot to put it in Confluence.
Yes, exactly. And that's just, let's make our work, yeah, efficient as possible. And all what, yeah, machine can do for us, let them do. We will check it and then, read it. Then rest of the team can focus on developing code.
Exactly. Do you think it's gonna be more helpful in your work, particularly, as a leadership trainer, or you train
Mm,
people the more soft skills part on the from various angles over the years. But
mm.
it's in theory it's gonna get more advanced over the years. Where we gonna get there? How fast we gonna get there? If we're gonna get there, we don't know. But we can have some idea or predictions or opinions about the future.
Mm. Yeah, it will definitely help me, yeah, leaders or client. Uh, but I see it still as a great inspirational and support tool for me. If I should prepare for some meeting or coaching question, I have my toolbox already. Say, okay, let me create scenario. I cannot predict what will coach E said, but let me just prepare scenario. You know, and then get maybe some questions or some reflection which I didn't think about. So in that sense, it will help. But if I kind of blindly believe that it will replace me, maybe people don't have a time to uh, to develop themselves. Then let me just AI. I get all my answer, and then I know what's the next. But then again, people first, as we started with, you know,
Exactly.
and yeah, we can share also feelings and everything with machines, but then, yeah, I was so much for it.
It's not
Inspiration.
same, I think,
No, no, and yeah, when you doing something, for example, now with the AI, that that's a great question, or perfect point, and said, come on, it's just bits and bytes giving me answer. So
I have a bit different type of questions. Quick fire. I know it's
yeah.
gonna, for many probably it's gonna be it depends. We know favorite sentence of all the tech people, but let's try. It's 5 questions. No explanation, fast answer. So, 1, better to give feedback immediately or to wait?
Immediately,
Written or verbal?
always verbal,
Public praise or private criticism?
public praise.
Is it radical candor overrated?
No,
One sentence every leader should delete from their feedback vocabulary.
let's talk.
That was a great lightning round and closing questions to wrap up the conversation. All we learned about feedback today. If you could rewrite corporate playbook, what would be the new role of feedback?
It's key role, and leadership should think about feedback as co-creating actions between leaders and their colleagues or employees. Think about co-creation.
So something what we want to, both create, not only one person, and we don't go against each other, but more as a team. I think that's also what is very big focus in Denmark for. And for
Mm.
people who want to, follow you, follow your work and learn from you where they can find you. Because I think you know a lot, you share a lot of valuable stuff, and it would be good to, expose it to the wider audience.
Absolutely. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I'm also participating in various conferences, mainly in Europe, talking about feedback. I have also my web page and also Calendly, where people can actually book me for first a free session, half an hour, 45 minutes. So if people are interested, they can find all information on LinkedIn actually. So feel free people to connect.
Great. We'll link it under the podcast. I don't have anything more. Thank you for coming. If you have anything to add, feel free. But it was great, and I learned a lot in a very short time from you as well.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't have more to share, but just I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity. I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for today's edition of the Bits and Bolts with Paulina. Did you like what you heard? Of course you do. Tell your friends.